Honorable Ministers, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I want to stand on existing protocols. My office is responsible for mapping and production of geospatial information in the country. I hope the slides are on. Our main mandate is to establish, extend, and enhance the existing national geodetic reference system for all surveying and mapping activities in the country. To delineate, demarcate, survey, maintain, administer all international and interstate boundaries of the country. To prepare, produce, publish all geospatial products, such as administrative maps, electronic national atlas, gazetteer of place names, road maps, and other forms of maps. To provide national geospatial standard for the production of digital maps and other geographic information, and so on and so forth. Now, if you look at the slides, you will see the details. Now, I want to talk because I want to talk on our collaboration with Infoterra/EIT. Essentially, that project was to acquire multispectral 2.5 meter resolution imagery for the country and digital elevation model 20 cm for the country, and of course what we call players images of 0.5 meter for major cities in the country. As at 9th of last month, we have completed this work to the tune of 82% or 80%, and we have used this imagery and digital elevation model to produce new sets of 1 in 25,000 maps. In other words, you can have them at both digital and hard copy. We are using that update topographic maps at 1 in 50 and 1 in 50,000 and 1 in 100,000. We're also using it to extract roads and water bodies for production of road maps for Nigeria. What we are saying here is that we are now able to extract all the roads in the country, both federal, state, and communal roads. At the completion of this exercise, we'll be able to tell the country that this is exactly the number of roads we have, and it will be very authentic and usable anywhere in the world. We're also partnering with Ministry of Environment on the Great Green Wall project. We are working with INEC. For those of you who may not know, the INEC, the recent elections in INEC succeeded partly because of our own contribution in terms of mapping the locations of polling stations, and of course the necessary roads to lead you to those places. You can see on the slide we are showing you that I think that should be a kitty, where we have shown the roads and all the polling stations. On the next slide, you will see a sample of what we mean by high-resolution satellite imagery. Now, you also see an imagery showing the raw data of digital elevation model. Now, with digital elevation model, you can do your road planning without looking back. You will be able to plan. Of course, when you want to go into details, you can do your normal observations. But you're going to be able to get information that will enable you to do your planning. You'll be able to know, initially, from the word go, the area that are likely to be more economical in terms of planning of your work. You can also see the digital elevation model that is already processed. You will see on the slide that the areas that are dark blue are where you have water bodies. You have water bodies, and the areas that are dark yellow are where you have high points. You can from that map we're able to determine that Taraba State, Mambila is the highest in Nigeria. Originally, people used to think that it is Plateau, but the truth of the matter is that it is in Taraba, Mambila here. You can see that on the screen, and you can see all the flooded areas. All those areas shown in blue are areas that are prone to serious flood in case of erosion, in case of flood. You can therefore use this information to estimate areas that are likely to be under flood. And of course, with further processing, you'll be able to get more of that information. Now, you can see on the slide too, we're showing you information as to how to use this information. We have the digital elevation model and imagery to show your road alignment. You can see where we're showing the heights. You should be able to have your project heights produced from this. The next slide shows our new edition of 1 in 25,000 map of Okigwe area, 1 in 25,000. Before that, you will see the one we had earlier, and you compare it with the details we have today using our information. The images are more detailed, much more than what we had before. Could you show the exact place we are talking about? Can you roll forward, please, so that people will see what we are talking? Roll forward, roll forward. Go ahead, go ahead. I think I've passed it. This is right-of-way survey. This is a right-of-way. The red boundaries show you the extent of the federal highway. And you can see the number of buildings that are sitting exactly on the right-of-way. That is not supposed to be, because the right-of-way is an area that is exclusively for use of federal government. But you can see Nigerians are not observing that. They're building within that right-of-way. On the next slide, you'll be seeing what we call the core reference station. That is the continuous operating reference stations. The continuous operating reference station. That is on top of our building, and from there you can see every part of Abuja. Now, the importance of this that can use it to coordinate any point is running that is collecting data every second. And we have 16 of them all over the country. They are transferring data to our office, and so you'll be able to do your survey anywhere you are, whether for highway or for any project that you're doing that has your special information. So that's a typical example of what we have today in the office. We have 16 of them. The next slide is the location of those core stations. Those core stations, there are 16, that are located in different parts of the country for effective planning and mapping of the entire country. The next slide actually shows you, the Honorable Minister talked of our atlas. The atlas, what you are seeing here is the new national atlas. We are presenting to the public. It's not officially approved yet for sale, but we are getting close to it. Like the Honorable Minister said, the last one was produced over 30 years ago, and we have just come up with this. Can you show some of the data inside it? Can you flash through the data, please? I will flash it. Mr. Taiwo, show us the atlas. Well, we have also, through our core sessions, established 84, what we call 840 other controls. It is unprecedented. I'm not sure any other country has done it except Nigeria. Possibly, maybe South Africa has done it. But what this means is that we can connect internationally to any other maps anywhere in the world. What the points we are seeing are what we call the zero order controls. What we used to have is what we call primary controls, but this is zero order and can use to connect to any other place in the world. Next slide, please. Yeah, what you are seeing here is the OSGov, that's Office of Surveyor-General Geospatial Information System. That's our web portal. Next slide, please. This is our data center where we are going to keep all our data, all geospatial data, and we also hope, this is what we have today, we are hoping to also replicate this in some other place away from our office, because if there's an accident, we don't want to lose all the data. But this is what we have. All our data are going to be here, and you can, from the comfort of your office or your room, access data there. Holding us from rolling out now is to ensure adequate security of our data. But otherwise, we are done with it. That's where we are today. That's our geoportal. Still our geoportal. Next slide, please. Can you go towards the end? Can you roll quickly? Now, in summary, some of our outstanding achievements so far within this 3-year program is: 1, we have established 16 continuously operating reference stations in the country. We are one of the highest in Africa. We have deployed zero-order control network. We have acquired 2.5-meter resolution imageries and digital elevation model that we can use for effective planning and for execution of all kinds of maps. We have determined what we call transformation parameters. Transformation parameters that you can transform a map from Nigerian origin to the international origin. This is done by Nigerian experts in collaboration with my staff. We have published the second edition of our maps, of our atlas. We are updating the street guide of towns and villages and cities. In future, we want to continue with all these series of maps we have produced. We haven't covered the entire country, but our hope is to cover the entire country. And when that is done, we'll be able to extract all the road network, both national, state, and communal. We also are thinking of establishing a survey museum. A survey museum is, from the atlas we have, generate school atlas so that our children will understand what atlas is all about and use it. We plan to complete our data center and establish remote data centers as backups. We want to sensitize the state governments and local government to map so that we can use these maps. In conclusion, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I want to say that if you cannot map it, you cannot manage it. If you don't map, you can't manage a nation. Thank you very much.